So let's start the today's session. So basically, I will be giving introduction to the test automation and some automation basics using the Python. Right? So okay, let's see. So I think at this point, actually, I described the previous week as well. So basically, when we look at the automation and software testing perspective, so the unit testing is the majority of automation testing that we could be able to easily do. And ideally, we expect major 70% of test work need to be covered at the unit level and it need to be automated. So next, the key testing type is service testing, and that also subject to be automated. And averagely, we discuss it's about around 20% of testing, total testing. And the UI testing, ideally, need to be the minimum, and 10% of entire testing will cover at the UI level. So as long as you cover in the unit level, so it will be helpful to deliver a better software. So that unit testing will become is a very crucial thing, and automating unit testing is fundamental required. So I since unit testing is considered as a white box testing and mostly developers will be doing. So we expect all the unit test cases to be automated rather doing it manually. Right? So that's the expectation. So in so any software development application that we are doing, we need to have a unit correct unit test coverage and all unit test has to be automated and it should be available automated model, right? So because of that, so the first I'm going to look at how to do the UI testing, sorry, unit testing as a part of our automation activities. So then we'll be moving to the service and then we'll be moving to the AI, so UI side of it. And we'll later we'll look at how AI can be leveraged for all these automation activities. So that's our plan. So in the Python, so if you are going to do the unit testing, so we need to use some libraries with the Python. So PyTest, so for my exercise, so my lecture, so I will be using PyTest. So PyTest is a one of frequently used, mostly used library that most of the developers will be used to test their code. So one of popular unit test framework, PyTest. It's a library. So it's a freely available and we can use it with the Python. And there are a lot of advantages. So few advantages is it's very simple and it's very easy. So less boilerplate code and we can easily develop a automation suite using PyTest. And it has their own some capabilities like assertions. We call assertions. So basically, assertions will make sure whether our test case is pass or fail, or whether we got errors, or whether we got the actual results and expected result match and it's got pass or something like that. So easily we can validate expected and actual results. So that we use assertions. So because of the it has assert statement to test that. So that is another advantage. And they have a fixture. So something simplifying the setting up and tearing down the test suite. So in test suites, we will be have a setup and execution and assertion three different areas. So basically, this fixture can be simplified the entire test cases and very easily automated. And it has a functional app because it's easily cover the functionality, test the functionality of the application, and it's a large community based plugin, right? Or library. So because of that, because of the large community, so it always get updated, get fixed, and get maintained. And so because of that, we don't worry of the evil because of the other development of the languages, technologies. So this also get grouped. Right? Because of that, we don't have we don't have any challenges of using it and for a long run. So those are the few advantages I found, but there are many more. But these are few key. So we'll look at how to use PyTesting practically. So I'm just covering some concepts here. So as I mentioned, so unit testing basically we will be test our application or code. Basically, we will test our code at unit level or component level and making sure this code what we have written is correct. and it isolates the problems in the code and it makes sure the code is correct. That's basically expectation part of unit testing. So unit testing makes sure what we have developed as a component or unit is correct and it performs the exact functionality and the way we code is correct. So these are the areas we are going to cover in part of unit testing. So if you are going to use PyTest, so basically we have in PyTest we have three different types. So basically three different areas, parts, we can say parts, right? So one is a setup. So initially what we need to do is we need to set up. So if we are going to if we are going to automate a test case using PyTest, first thing we need to do is a setup. We need to set up test data, we need to configure the environment, we need to configure the parameters, whatever the things that will require to, it's kind of prerequisite or something like that in a manual test case. So we have to do the setup. So second one is we will do the execution. We will execute and see what results we are getting. So if we have given a login page, we will enter username, we will enter password, and we will check and click on login button, and we will check whether we can log. Right? So that's the execution. Assertions means we verify. So once we click on login button, whether we are getting the correct home page or we will be diverted to the correct page as a part of login success, or whether we will get a error message, so or something like that. So that we will validate their assertions. So these are the three different areas we can come across with the PyTest when we are doing the coding. So I am not going to the sample code here, so we will do it practically one by one. Uh, I will explain this part. Basically I will move to the lab exercise directly. So what you can do is you can find all this information in this by scanning this QR code. So you could be able to download the code that I'm going to use during the class, right? So you can scan this QR code. Anyway, I will share this deck as well. But by the way, I will share the URL as well if required. So if you scan this, I think you can get you can scan QR code now. So let me show the page that you will get to do this. Let me show it's in one of my Google Drive. So let me show the drive. So if you scan it, you will direct to the. So you will get directed to this code. So this is the code. Download the entire thing. So, but I will be used for today only the test calculator. But rest of all, it will be helpful for you in future sessions because of that you can keep download this folder and keep it with you. But I think you will have the access to download. The, I will use only the test calculator Python today, but other rest of other Python files it will be required for you. Okay, so that's we will so I am going to use PyCharm as a part of this exercise, right? So you can download PyCharm community edition. So I will show that. You type PyCharm in Google. PyCharm community download. You need to download, right? So it will go to JetBrains. You can find. So this is PyCharm. So you can download the PyCharm uh, for Windows. So this is PyCharm Unified Community Edition. So you can download it. You can download whatever the version you want. So if you can use a free, or you can use 1 month, so free pro limited version, or you can purchase it. But I don't think you need to purchase. You can have it a community edition for all your development activities. So if I can, you need to download. That's the first activity you need. Once downloaded, you can install in your computer. So then once you install, you can open the PyCharm. Right? So once you open the PyCharm, I will share my screen again. I guess you can't see right now. Let me share it. Give me a second. Hope you can see my screen. So that's the usual. So once you get the PyCharm, so you will get a so here I just open a small project. I opened the project already, so I will post it. So you can here create a project. Right? So you can create a project here, new project. Uh, Once you get this installed Python, you will get it this kind of window. So I'm pretty sure you already use this. So you first create a project. So I will create a project. So you can create a project. So then you can download. You can. So I ask you to download the test calculator file. So which is I showed in my Google Drive. So if you download it, so I already downloaded it. So I will open that file. Download in downloads folder. So test calculator part is open. And so this is the sorry, this is from file. Test calculator. I need to open test calculator. This is the one. So I will deep dive it later. So the code. So you can open the code. So here, so no Python interpreter is. So you can see. So as soon as you, so here it's mentioned no Python interpreter is configured, right? So then the first thing is icon settings. So you can go to there's a section called Python, select that and select internet. So first thing is you need to select the correct interpreter. So it's already now set it down. So you have to select the interpreter and then you need to add whatever the package you right? So while you can select whatever the interpreter you want. So then you can install whatever the packages. So basically the library. So what are the libraries what you will require for your uh, just getting loaded, give me a second. So by default, the PIP, then this is the library requires only any library in the Python that only will be available. So and then you can click plus button. For my code, as I mentioned, I need PyTest. PyTest is a library. I can search here PyTest. So I need to select the PyTest. I need to install it here. So that's whatever the libraries we want to use, we have to install it here. So so there's a small issue in the project that I am using, hence I will get a new existing project open. But you have to do that, you have to configure that setup. So once you configure, I will show what you will be getting. We have whole Python project. So let me open that project. So if you go to this Python project and go to settings, I'll show. If you go to the interpreters, you can see the interpreters set here. So none of projects. So let me show that. So yes, so there you have installed various libraries for to getting things done. So all these libraries you can see here. So that's how it so PyTest and all this. So PyTest has to be installed. So it has been installed. So I will open this calculator's code and I will show that thing. Okay, the first thing what you need to do is, you need to import the PyTest library. So that's the first thing what you need to do. So if you are going to create a new one, new new Python file. So first thing, if we are going to create a test case, so PyTest will only identify it if we start from test. So this is a method. You have to give the test underscore calc function or something like that. Right? Always your class need to be start from test. So then only PyTest will identify it. It's a test, his class. So because of that, that's the mandatory. So you have to select new Python file, give the test, then underscore whatever the class name you want to do. So then you can create the file. So it will be created one. So then first thing you need to do is you need to import. You need to import PyTest. So that's the first command you need to do. So then it will be installed import. So it will be import by so this will be import. So that's the first statement you had to do. So then you had to write. So first thing, so think I have been asked to write a calculator class, right? Calculator function. So add two numbers, subtract two numbers, and like that. So then you can what you can do is you need to first define the library. So that means my function. So you have to use a def commands. Then you can do multiply two numbers like this, right? So how I'm using is uh, so divide number, right? So something like that you can do. So before that, so I actually use some AI, but I did the site simple generated def add two numbers. So something like that you can write, right? So this is how this is how you can write your calculation function. So four methods I derived, right? Add two numbers, and I will pass two numbers, and it will add those two numbers and return. So if I want to subtract, I have a method called subtract two numbers. I will pass two values, and it will return a minus b. So if I want to multiply two numbers, I will pass a and b, and it will multiply a and b and return the value. If you want to divide a and b, if b equals 0 anyway you can't divide, but if it is b is not 0, it will be divided a divided by b and return the value. So that's it, four methods that I have been asked within the Python exercise I shared. I have given last week, so that's what I have been asked. So this is basically Python calculator. So if you have developed some Python calculator, so you have to write your unit test case to validate these methods. So that's what unit test. So if you are a developer, if you have been asked to write Python calculator, your Python calculator will be like this, right? Uh, so then what you need to do is, as a developer, you have to write your test case to test this Python calculator. So that's what I'm going to show how to do that. So if you have this code already written as a developer, then you need to write your test cases. So to write test case, first test case should be the so your test and do numbers. So we'll write a function for that definition. So function you have to write def define. So then your test function start with always test. So I have a test and right? So that's the first activity, test addition. So then how you could write remaining code. So that's what I'm going to show. So I asked, so the very first thing is what you need to do, you have to set up. So I asked you to set up. So what is set up? So set up is to prepare test data, right? So what is the test data? You have to pass some values for A, pass values of B, and you have to pass some value for the expected result. You have to correctly give these values like this. So first you have to give the value for A, then you have to give value for B, and then you have to give the value for the expected result. So that's your test case. So the test date, you need to set it up first test date. So then what you need to do is you need to do execution. So how we are going to do the execution? So how to execute? What you need to do is you need to call add two numbers, and you need to call add two numbers function, and you need to pass A, comma B, right? So that's what you need to do. So this will call your method, add two numbers method. So here he will call this. So he will return some value, right? Because he is returning this. If you call this method, so A and B you also define and expected results are real, and but now A and B you pass this A and B and add two. So but this function returning the A plus B. Because of that, you need to catch that and you need to store it. Right? So I will tell actual result. And you need to pass this actual result. So actual result will be this. So you can store it in a variable. So next thing is assertion. So you need to validate assertion. So how to validate? So for that, there is assertion statement, assertion commands. There are set of like commands that you can use, but here I will show there's a command called assert. So this is the command we are going to. So what we are going to do is whether we assert expected results is actual results. So then you can. So basically, this will tell whether this is pass or fail. If this is pass, your test case will get pass. If this is fail, your test case will fail. But if you want, you can add few more steps. So, but I'm not going to add for the moment. I will show it a little later. So basically, this is your test case. You pass. First thing you need to set up, prepare the data. Then you need to execute. Then you need to assertion means validation. So basically, you pass this. So you can execute. So then, if this is pass, you will get a pass. If it is fail, you will get a fail. So this is how you will do the unit test case. You can automate. So you based on your code, you have to write it. So if you execute this test case, you can independently execute. So let's see what will happen. I'm sure that is working now, but let's see. It is working. You can get to see the results. bit slow. I think it was slow, very slow today. So some reason because I'm working for the morning and things, I get some issue with machine. I couldn't able to restart it. So apology for that. So it's fast, right? So it says pass. Test addition pass. So think what will happen. Uh, so what will happen? So pass the value A2. I pass the value B3. So and when we add these two numbers, we know actual result is 5. But to some reason, I believe actual result is 6, not 5. So then what will happen? So let me show it. I will execute it again. So I mark it actual result is 6, but actually this application give is 5. So it ideally need to be failed. Let's see what's yes. So so this is assertion work, right? It says fail. You can see it, right? So why as well? 6 not equal 5. What is 6 not equal? This is the one. In the assert command, I gave expected result. This is 6. The actual result is 5. So if I change it to 4 and run, then you will get a failure. So that's it. 4 not equal 5, right? So this is so very easy. The assertion command, so statement you can validate the script very easy. So that's why with Python and PyTest, so PyTest is very easy if you are coding with the Python, right? So this is how it will be. So ideally it should be 5. So we'll make it 5 again. So this is how you can write, right? So similarly, you have met, another method for the another function subtract two numbers. So how you can test that? So let's see. So how you could test that? So then you have to write another unit test case definition test subtract. And so set up. So I gave three different numbers. A is equal B, A equal 5, B equal 3, and if you A minus 5, 3 should be 3, 2, right? So that's how I'm writing. So this is my setup. So then what should I do? Execution. So this is execution. So same way, actual, so I can type it like this. Actual results equal subtract two numbers. Ideally I can call only this part, but since it's returning its value, I need to assign it to a variable, right? Like this. So then in the assertion section, I can validate. So I assert expected result equal actual result. This is my test, just simple. So let's see whether we can run. So I have now two test cases. I can either individually run both one by one. So let's see. I will run this. Let's see what's happening. It's fast. Right? Similarly, I can run both test cases. How you could run it? So I can run it here. So you can see the two test cases: test addition, pass, test subtraction. So you can run both as well together. Both. So think if I change here. So a 5 minus 3, I believe is as a 3. So we'll see what's completed. The program how it's identified. Okay. One test case fail, one pass, right? You can see the first test addition is pass, test abstraction is fail. So it's giving the reason, right? So this is so that's how it will be. And you can run multiple tests. So do you have any questions so far? Or is it clear? So ideally it should be clear. This is how you could try. So I will type unit test case. So we have to give this on the commands and we see what it is identified. Subtraction. Okay, yes. So we'll write the third test case. You need 3. Multiply. So how you can run? So def test underscore. So this is how you. So you have to put a colon as in. So that's the first step. So then you have to set it up. Set up. So write a equal 5, b equal 5, multiplied by 15. So we will pass the multiply. So I call the multiply two numbers a, b. So equal results. So I put as a. That's the third. So if you run this, so pass, right? So I can run the third test case. Fourth test case as well. Okay. Okay. Test. Yes. So not subtractions, division, division, column. So we can set it up. Set down. You can set up the data. So so 6 and 3, A is 6 and 8 divided by 2. So then I will give execution. So ideally what I need to do is need to call this method as it is. Divide this two number. This is the method I need to call. So basically this, but since it's returning a value, so I will be assigning to actual results. So that's how it will be then assertion. So you can just write the expect result in equals. So that's how you will be writing test cases. It's very simple. So what will happen? So we'll execute and see. So this is result. Pass, right? Now I have four test cases. So if I run all these four test cases, so what we will check what are the results. So you can see all. So by in case if you change some values here, so you can see so this is and it gives results here, and it will the last one executed again, right? So in between exactly where the test case could fail, it show the result. So because you are using assertion, it's clearly say what is expected, what is actual, and what happened. It's very easy to troubleshoot, right? So this is how you can automate unit test cases for your program. So I have been asked to write this program. I don't know whether you already written or not. So, but this you can write it since I already showed it. So you can write this code, and so is that all? So I write four test cases, four unit test cases as a developer. I automated four unit test cases for my calculator functionality. Is this sufficient? This is the next question I have. Okay, someone says we can't see the screen. So still you can't see the screen? So I can see it here, it's showing in my screen. Okay, so that's that. Sorry. So I think someone should speak. I can, sorry, I didn't notice your message. So how you can't see my screen? Let me stop again. So I guess this is. Okay, can you see my this screen? So what here can someone I think you need to speak out, right? Unless it's very difficult. Can you see my the current screen again? So I reshared it. Okay, I'll quickly repeat it. Okay, what I have done. So I will create a Python file. So test calculator. Test calculator. So this is my and so first thing is I need to import file test. So this is the first one. So then I wrote calculator function here. So I will just copy paste again this my code. This is a calculator function I develop as a developer. So I'm going to test. So the first thing is I will write dev test test addition. Right. So this is my method. So first thing is I will do setup. So I need to use the setup command. So then I will assign values as a here. So I assign A equal 2, B equal 3, expected result is equal 5. So then I will type execution. Right? So under the execution, I will call add two numbers function. This is a two number function. So that's it. So, but this add two number function return some values. Hence, I will assign some values here. I parameter here. So parameters actual results. So this is how we write the code. So execution part also complete. Then I need to do the assertion. Assertion. So then assertion I will do. What I do is there's a command called assert. So then I can get an execute result equal to results. That's it. That's the unit test I will write. Right? So I just write it and then I execute it. Here I can execute it here. So it will get the result. Right? You can see this fast. Right? So quickly I will write other test cases as well. Since you couldn't see dev test underscore subtraction setup. First I will put the values a equal 5, b equal 3, a minus b equals 2. As I will do the execution. So actual results, I will subtract the two numbers. So then I will do the assertion. So I have two test cases. If I run it here, you can see the result. That's 100%. So, but if I run both, I can select here current file and I can run it here. can see both test results are we are getting. Similarly, I will write other test case. This is subtraction. I will write for the depth test multiply. So this is should be my code. I will give A equal B, A equal 5, B equal 3. So multiplied number is 50. So I assign to the actual results. I call the multiply two numbers method. That is the method my write it here. So that's what I'm going to test. So I call the method. I get the actual results and I validate actual and expected are equal. Similarly, I write it test sub. So this is sub multiplication, right? So that's why that. Similarly, I can write for div subs test. So you need to start division. So this is my division method test class setup. A equals 6, B equal 3. If you divided A by B, answer is 2. So I am checking whether the actual result is what exactly I'm getting from this. So developer did a mistake. Here, without in asterisk, he put plus mark. So then what we did? My test case should be failed. So let's see what if developer has done this, you can see the third system pass, second one pass, third one failed. And he's saying, I'm expecting 15, but actually I got 8 because rather multiplying, I added. So then you can identify what's the root cause and fix it. So then you can see the last one also. So if as a developer, then you will identify, okay, it's 15.8. So then you can go to the code. You can go to the code and validate what happened. So then you can see why you are getting 80s, you pass, you will actually here plus. So it need to be corrected like this. So then you can correct it. You can run it again. So you can see all test cases are pass. So this is how you could be able to do the automation, right? So these all four test cases are now passed. But is this sufficient? So I have written one test case for one function. So ideally it is not sufficient because we only test positive part, right? We need to test. So at least if you looked at division method or function, so it check whether a divided by c, 0 or something like that. Right? So at least you can try that as a, if you so divide by 0. So what will happen? So I write a new setup. So a divided a 6 b is 0. So if I divided by 0, the pi test. So if I call this, and if you get, so then if you pass something like that, so you will get a zero. So you can write something like this. So we will see how it. So he will not divide, and he is going to divide. I cannot divide by 0. So this kind of case, so you have to additionally write it. So and you can put one test case like a -2. So then it should be 1. So this kind of thing, right? So you can write so a -2 and b equal 3. So we'll check whether you can run only that test case. So right? But think if your method has some problem, something like that, so minus something like that. So then your call will be wrong. So then you can figure it out whether there's a problem or not. So that's so one not equal five. So, so this error you will get. So if developer has done incorrectly code, you could be able to find out it from your unit test case rather going for a QA. You can write your own unit test case and you can so you can have a large number of unit cases as you want. So we can put various numbers, right? So you can pass AI minus BS minus A equals 0, B equals 0, various things, right? So we'll, we'll, we can do that. So this is what exactly unit test cases. This is how you could be able to automate unit test cases. This code is available already in the shared folder I already shared. So I think you need to try this if you want, right? So I will share a small exercise as well that you could be able to try out yourselves. So in addition to this, so and I will share that exercise into LMS as well, right? So then you could be able to try that exercise as well. So this is basically automation, right? So we can use a PyTest as a library, and you can the if you why you need to PyTest is you use assertion command. So this assertion command is not available in generic Python. So because you want to use assertion command, you have to use PyTest, and you need to use test class. So test methods available only in uh, PyTest library. That's why you need to import PyTest library. So basically, you have to import it here. You have to go to settings. You need to set up here interpreter. You need to have the correct interpreter, and you need to install whatever the library you want. So PyTest you can install from here, and you can install whatever, and you can install here. Right? So that's how you could be able to get it installed. So you can install here, right clicking, and once installed, you can pause it. So it will get here. So that's a fundamental requirement. First, you need to have. So then you can just create your method. First, you need to create project. So then you can set it up like this. Then you can create a just Python file, and you can give what you start from test underscore whatever, something like that. So then you need to write your code. First, you need to import the PyTest. So that's it. So then you can write your code. First, you need to have develop the code that you develop. So then only you can test it. Right? This is a fundamental requirement. So then you can able to clearly test. So any questions, anything that you have? So how to do the unit test automation? You can download this code here. So I'll go back to my slide again. So this is the QR code. So you can scan and get it if you are unable to do it that yet. So make sure you download the code. That code set will be required for future things as well. I think that's all I have to do for today's session. So do you have any questions or do you have anything? So it is a very straightforward thing, right? So just you can use your Python. First, you need to install Python. So first you install PyCharm. So then you can configure the PyCharm. Then you can start coding. Do you have any questions on this? This is a code, the sample code I have used. You can use this presentation slide deck as well for to learn this. But I already shared the code since you can learn yourselves as well. So in addition to that, you can use assertion error rather the assert command. If you want, you can capture the errors. You can use assertion error. So that's another uh, PyTest assertion that you can use. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, I think we can wind up the today's session. So do you have any other questions or anything? So unless I think that's all from that, you need to practice this because the next sessions are a little bit more challenging than this. This is very simple one because I just started. I given a very simple one. So I will share a small exercises to you to try as well. But the next sessions you need to try this unless you might not be able to digest. So I'm going to little deeper areas, right? Okay. So okay then thank you for all joining. So I will share the exercise as well with you all. So try this and we'll get ready for the next session. Okay. Thank you.